Boss, the plan.
It's time to land the plan and continue our fantasy journey to the fundraiser. I'm Steve Wisby and I'm that fundraiser guy. As we make our way to the event, we've tackled the history of fundraising, what it is, where it came from, the all-important cause you're choosing to fundraise for, the need for due diligence, and how important it is to get your Goldilocks on. And that's to make sure that your committee is not too big and not too small, but just right. Just the right number of committee members, committee roles and personalities. And now we move forward to discuss the plan. It does not do to leave a live dragon out of your calculations if you live near one. That's from J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien believed in a plan, and it goes to show you need a plan too. Let me remind you of a fundraising event that didn't have a plan for a dragon that lived nearby. Community group puts on concert to raise funds for charity, of course. They book the venue, they book the artists, they get sponsors, they get security, and they patiently wait for thousands of people to arrive and pay at the gate. They wait and wait for thousands of people. They did not have a plan. They did not pre-sell tickets to gauge response. They did not utilize social media and advertising channels. And they did not do research to see if the 1980s big hair band still had a popular following to this day. They did not research how much to pay said big hair band, and they paid $30,000, and it did not cover their costs, and it had major ramifications for everybody involved. Oh, except for the 150-plus-year-olds that turned up on the night with their $25 in their pocket to relive the high school prom. Well, as Australians know it, the formal or Year 12 farewell. They had the time of their lives. You see, those 100 old people were the only ones that knew how to plan. They planned to have the night available. The ex had the weekend with the kids. They planned an Uber because they were going to drink like it was 1987. They planned a shower, splashed on some Brute. They planned clean underwear. They planned because it can be unpleasant if you're not planning. They may have also planned a Trojan, rubber, condom, Johnny, prophylactic or raincoat, because if it's not on, it's not on. They even planned fluoro clothing so they wouldn't stand out in the crowd. And guess what? They slew the dragon! And they had the time of their lives. Some even awoke in unfamiliar surrounds. The band even planned and got paid. And then they left town with a carload of screaming, swooning 55-year-old groupies clinging to their aging, glitter-clad bodies, dripping in sweat. And they headed for the Motel 6, where the plan included a well-stocked minibar and a vibrating waterbed. How important is a plan? The organisers, on the other hand, couldn't pay anyone else, and they were personally liable for losses. And the charity didn't get any money, even worse. And everyone on that committee had a hangover that lasted a lot longer than expected. So you need a plan. You need a plan. And now a word from our sponsor, Leisure Lounges. Leisure Lounges are custom-designed furniture specialists with massive savings on all popular custom-made lounges now. 100% Australian-made in Australia by an Australian company for Australian conditions. 100% custom-made. Design your lounge the way you like it. And all backed by a 10-year warranty. And they can also deliver anywhere across this wide brown land of Australia. If you're a member of cornerstonecommunity.com.au, they'll also give you a very, very special discount and a secret handshake. leisurelounges.com.au. Back to the guts of the matter. Now, get a pen and a piece of paper, because here is a basic outline for a fundraising plan that you will need to jot on down. Number 1, the introduction. Briefly, introduce your organisational cause. Explain the purpose of the fundraising plan. Number 2, fundraising goals. State your fundraising goals. The amount of money to be raised. The specific projects that you want to fund. Break down your goals into manageable, measurable objectives. Number of guests, how many tickets, amount of sponsors you need, all that sort of stuff. Number 3, the target audience. Identify your target audience. Is it the netball team and all their mums and dads and family and friends? People affected by cancer. 18 to 25-year-olds that identify as furry creatures. Individual donors, corporate sponsors. Describe how you reach and engage your target audience through social media, email campaigns, direct mail, yelling over the back fence, going to furry events. Your marketing committee member then will have a separate plan within the overall plan to timeline and disseminate all of the advertising and promotion. Number 4, fundraising strategy. Outline your fundraising strategy. Is it an event? Do you rely on corporate sponsorships, ticket sales, auction items, individual sponsorships? Describe each fundraising method in detail and explain how it will contribute to your overall fundraising goals. And include a timeline for each fundraising activity. Number 5, the budget. Create a budget for your fundraising plan because this is important. Expenses related to the events, the marketing materials, the third-party expenses like the band, the venue, the security. Ensure that your expenses are reasonable and in line with your fundraising goals. Don't go spending $800,000 on production to create a $50,000 profit. And I know no one's ever hired a $50,000 chandelier to put in the middle of a venue to enhance the ambience of a night, so don't think about it. Number 6, staffing and volunteer management. Identify staff and or volunteers responsible for each fundraising activity. Volunteers. Outline their roles and responsibilities and ensure that they have the necessary resources and support to achieve their goals. Volunteers don't cost money. Evaluation and reporting. Develop a system for tracking and evaluating fundraising progress. Determine how progress will be reported to the stakeholders, back to the committee members and the sponsors and the volunteers or staff. Determine how, if anywhere, there needs to be corrections made or changes. Number 8, conclusion. Summarize your plan and reinstate your goals. Now remember, this is just a basic outline. Depending on the size and complexity of your fundraising campaign, your plan may require additional detail. Also, be sure to review and update the plan regularly to ensure that you're staying on track and achieving your fundraising goals. And like I mentioned, well, be prepared to be fluid and guided by the situations that are out of your control. Economy, natural disasters, weather, locust, plague, COVID. COVID, really? COVID. It's everybody's plans in the whole wide world. Plan to change your plan. That's another important plan, you nimble little people. And if you're a visual person, create a Gantt chart. G-A-N-T-T. I love them. Gantt, put a big Gantt chart up. I find these most helpful with knowing where you are and where you're going on your plan timeline. And yes, at the very end of the plan where it says success on your Gantt chart, just plan to send everyone involved a thank you message or some kind of acknowledgement, and we'll cross that bridge too when we finally come to it. And that brings us to a close. There's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas, but it's probably in Tennessee. It says, fail to plan, plan on shame. Shame that plan won't go to plan and you can't fail to plan again. He said it and I believe it, and that settles it.